Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
He was a tall man about 40 years old, this Jules Schickett, the innkeeper of Spurville. He had a red face and a round belly, and people said he was a smart businessman. He stopped his buggy in front of Mother Magloire's farmhouse. He tied the horse to the gatepost and went in the gate. Schickett owned some land next to the old woman's land. He had wanted her land for a long time and had tried many times to buy it, but she always said no. "I was born here, and here I will die," was all she said. He found her peeling potatoes outside the farmhouse door. She was about 72 years old, very thin, wrinkled, and bent, but she was as active as a young girl. Schickett patted her on the back in a friendly way and then sat down by her on a stool. "Well, Mother, you always seem well and strong. I am glad to see that. Nothing to complain about, thank you. And how are you, Monsieur Schickett?" "Oh, pretty well, thank you, except for a few aches sometimes. Otherwise, I am fine." "That's good." She said no more, while Schickett watched her working. Her crooked fingers, hard as a lobster's claws, grabbed the potatoes from a pail. She peeled them quickly, cutting off long strips of skin with an old knife. She threw the potatoes into the water as she finished peeling them. 3 daring chickens jumped into her lap, took a bit of peel, and then ran away as fast as they could. Schickett seemed nervous, like he had something to say but couldn't. At last he spoke quickly. "Listen, Mother Magloire. Well, what is it? Are you sure you don't want to sell your land?" "Certainly not. You can be sure of that. What I have said, so don't ask again." "Very well. Only I think I know a way that could be good for both of us." "What is it?" "Just this. You will sell it to me and keep it at the same time. You don't understand? Okay. Follow me in what I am going to say." The old woman stopped peeling potatoes and looked at the innkeeper closely, and he went on. "Let me explain. Every month I will give you 150 francs. Do you understand? Every month I will come and bring you 30 crowns, and it will not change your life at all. Not at all. You will have your home just as you have now. You don't have to worry about me, and you will owe me nothing. All you will have to do is take my money. Will that work for you?" He looked at her kindly, almost like he wanted to help, but the old woman looked back with distrust, as if she thought it was a trick, and said, "It seems okay for me, but it will not give you the farm." "Don't worry about that," he said. "You can stay here as long as God lets you live. It will be your home. Only you will sign a paper with a lawyer saying it is mine after you die. You have no children, only nephews and nieces you don't care about. Will that be good for you? You will keep everything during your life, and I will give you the 30 crowns a month. It is all good for you." The old woman was surprised, a bit uneasy, but still very tempted to agree, and answered, "I don't say that I won't agree to it, but I must think about it. Come back in a week and we will talk again, and I will then give you my final answer." And Schickett went off as happy as a king who had won a kingdom. Mother Magloire was thoughtful and did not sleep at all that night. For 4 days she was very unsure. She thought there might be something bad in the offer for her, but then the thought of 30 crowns a month, all those coins falling into her apron like from the sky, made her very greedy. She went to the notary lawyer and told him about it. He told her to accept Shiket's offer, but said she should ask for 50 crowns a month instead of 30, because her farm was worth 60,000 francs at the lowest count. If you live for 15 years longer, he said. Even then he will only have paid 45,000 francs for it. The old woman trembled with joy at the idea of getting 50 crowns a month. But she was still suspicious, fearing some trick, and she stayed a long time with the lawyer asking questions without deciding to leave. At last, she told him to draw up the paper and went home with her head spinning, just as if she had drunk 4 jugs of new cider. When Shiket came again to get her answer, she said, after a lot of talking, that she could not decide to agree to his offer, though she was all the time worried he would not agree to give the 50 crowns. But at last, when he kept asking, she told him what she wanted for her farm. He looked surprised and disappointed and said no. Then, to convince him, she began to talk about how long she might live. I am not likely to live more than 5 or 6 years longer. I am nearly 73 and far from strong, even for my age. The other evening I thought I was going to die and could hardly get into bed. But Shiket was not going to be fooled. Come on, old lady. You are as strong as the church tower and will live till you are 100 at least. You will probably see me buried first. The whole day was spent talking about the money, and since the old woman would not give in, the innkeeper agreed to give the 50 crowns, and she made sure to get 10 crowns extra to make the deal. 3 years passed, and the old lady did not seem to get any older. Shiket was very upset, and it felt to him as if he had been paying that money for 50 years. He thought he had been tricked, cheated, and ruined. From time to time he went to see the old lady, just like one goes in July to see when the crops are ready. She always met him with a clever look, and it seemed like she was happy about the trick she played on him. Seeing how well and strong she was, he quickly got back into his buggy, grumbling to himself, "Will you never die, you old witch?" He did not know what to do, and he felt like choking her when he saw her. He hated her with a deep, sneaky hatred, the hatred of a farmer who has been robbed, and he began to think of ways to get rid of her. One day he came to see her again, rubbing his hands like he did the first time he suggested the deal. After talking for a few minutes, he said, "Why do you never come and have a bit of dinner at my place when you are in Spurville? People are talking about it, saying we are not friends, and that bothers me. You know it will cost you nothing if you come, because I don't worry about the price of a dinner. Come whenever you want. I will be very happy to see you." Old Mother Magloire did not need to be asked twice, and the next day, as she had to go to town anyway because it was market day, she let her man drive her to Shiket's place. The buggy was put in the barn while she went into the house to get her dinner. The innkeeper was very happy and treated her like a special guest, giving her roast chicken, black pudding, leg of lamb, and bacon with cabbage. But she ate very little. She had always been a small eater and usually lived on a little soup and a piece of bread and butter. Shiket was disappointed and tried to get her to eat more, but she refused. She also drank very little and said no to coffee, so he asked her, "But surely you will take a little drop of brandy or liqueur?" "Well, I don't know if I will say no to that." So he shouted, "Rosalie, bring the very good brandy, the special one, you know." The servant came with a long bottle decorated with a paper vine leaf, and he filled 2 small glasses. "Just try that. You will find it very good." The old woman drank it slowly in small sips, to make the pleasure last longer. And when she finished her glass, she said, "Yes, that is very good." Almost before she had said it, Shikit had poured her another glass. She wanted to say no, but it was too late, and she drank it very slowly, just like the first one. He asked her to have a 3rd glass. She did not want to, but he insisted. "It is as mild as milk, you know. I can drink 10 or 12 glasses without any problem. It goes down like sugar and does not make you dizzy. It feels like it disappears on the tongue. It is the best thing you can drink." She took it because she really liked it, but she left half the glass. Then Shikit, being very generous, said, "Look here, since you like it so much, I will give you a small keg of it, just to show that we are still very good friends." So she took one with her, feeling a bit tipsy from what she had drunk. The next day, the innkeeper drove into her yard and took a small keg with iron hoops out of his cart. He insisted she taste it, to make sure it was the same delicious drink, and when they had each drunk 3 more glasses, he said as he was leaving, "Well, you know, when it is all gone, there is more left. Don't be shy because I won't mind. The sooner it is finished, the happier I will be." For days later he came again. The old woman was outside her door cutting up bread for her soup. He went up to her and put his face close to hers, so he could smell her breath, and when he smelled the alcohol, he felt happy. "I suppose you will give me a glass of the special?" he said, and they had 3 glasses each. Soon, people started to talk about Mother Magloire getting drunk all by herself. She was found in her kitchen, then in her yard, and then on the roads nearby, often brought home like a log. The innkeeper did not visit her anymore, and when people talked to him about her, he would say, looking sad, "It is a great pity that she started drinking at her age, but when people get old, there is no cure. It will be the death of her eventually." And it certainly was the death of her. She died the next winter. Around Christmas time, she fell down, unconscious, in the snow, and was found dead the next morning. And when Shikit got the farm, he said, "It was very silly of her. If she had not started drinking, she probably would have lived 10 years longer."